We all see it, but yet nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to talk about it. The overhyping of mid to unattractive women, okay? So in this video, I'm gonna speak as a matter of fact. We're gonna talk about pity privilege. So there is a word for this concept that I have been noticing my entire life, is when undesirable women get overly praised and too much adoration that does not make sense. So I'm going to be bursting a lot of people's delusional bubble in this video. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you the signs of, is it a genuine compliment? Are you actually attractive, or is it just pity privilege? Okay. So what is pity privilege? Pity privilege is a new word that people have came up with to describe something that we all always see. So pity privilege, it's like a form of charity work for unattractive, undesirable women. Instead of receiving genuine compliments, their compliments is almost like donations for the less fortunate. The problem with this is when you're not receiving genuine compliments by other women, you'll start to think nothing is wrong with you. Okay, and it leads you to be in a stagnant state. It's a way to get women to not work on themselves in order to weed off competition. So if you're 300 pounds and you have a bunch of women in your comment section telling you that you're beautiful, well, you don't see the need to improve yourself because you already think that you're fine. And I do think that all of this goes back to how just petty and catty women can get for male attention. But the opposite spectrum of pity privilege is when you fit the male gaze and you're desirable and highly attractive, you'll notice that more women will tend to bully you and they'll feel comfortable, just pointing out your flaws and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about this. I'm going to give you multiple examples of what pity privilege is like, and you can see for yourself, do you fall into pity privilege? Okay. Is the compliments in your TikTok video, is it genuine or is it out of pity? So here is the list. First example of pity privilege that I have seen. When I was watching Pop the Balloon, there was this one episode of this girl with an extremely deep voice. Okay, and I'm not talking about Beyonce deep where, it's a little sexy. No, I'm talking about she sounded like a man.
And what's your name?
My name is Uche.
Uche, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay.
And all of the men popped their balloon because why would a man be attracted to that? Let's be so for real, okay? But see, women like to keep other women in this bubble of delusion because they enjoy the fact that you're weeding off competition. They enjoy the fact that you're not any competition. So a lot of women I noticed in the comment section, they were playing dumb. And, all the men were like, oh no, her voice is a turn off. But I noticed that the women in the comment section were hyping this girl up. Even in the show, even in the reunion, you had a bunch of women coming to her defense like, no, her voice is sexy and y'all can't handle a real woman. And her voice is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love her voice. Her voice is just so pretty. Oh my goodness, I love her voice. That is an example of pity privilege. It's when you're in situations where it's like, okay, come on, be so freaking for real. Okay, her voice is not attractive. But women, they like to lie to unattractive women to keep them stuck and stagnant so that way their man won't be checking for them. Okay? There, I said it. They like to keep women with undesirable traits in the safe zone. Okay? They don't need you walking into the room, stealing all of the attention with your soft, pretty, feminine voice. No, they like the fact that when you walk in the room, you turn every man off because you sound like a man. Okay? That's what that is. And literally, every man popped his balloon, as you can see in the clip. If men don't find you attractive, you'll know because they'll ignore you. Okay? They'll either ignore you or just use you for intercourse reasons. But it is women that come and they delude other women in believing that, oh, everything's fine with me. I don't need to work on myself. So I noticed that this woman with the deep voice that sounds like a man, she still does not see the problem with her voice. And she was like arguing with the other men and just saying, oh, you can't handle me and you can't handle a real woman. And the reason why she's doing that is because the pity privilege has worked. Other women telling her, oh, your voice is sexy. She ate that up and she feels like, wait, why would a man not want me? You know, my voice is sexy. Like, they don't know what they're talking about. You know, other women were probably telling her, oh, you have the voice of a real woman. Only a real man can handle that. So I noticed that she took that same attitude with her into dating. And the problem with pity privilege is that, well, look, she's unable to find a partner simply because of her voice. But she doesn't see what's wrong because other women have deluded her. And she delusionally believes that, like, men are going to be drawn to a voice like that. You see what I mean? It keeps women stagnant and not working on themselves.
All right, so we did get pop balloons.
Okay.
Let's go on over there, see why they ended up popping.
Okay.
All right, your name and age, and why did you end up popping your balloon?
Chris, 28, and I ain't gonna lie, your voice deeper than mine. So I can't even do it.
I was expecting that. I'm not even gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah. Y'all can
get
handle
that?
it. It's
You
okay.
get that about
oh,
your
I
voice?
get that a lot. Some like it and some don't. It's part of me.
Yeah,
so
nah, yeah.
if y'all can't handle it, then you can't handle me.
Can't.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Now, is he someone that's your type?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not?
He's too light for me, honestly.
Chris, on that clip we saw, you said, "Yeah, I can't handle it." What did you mean when you were speaking of that?
Just like she said, some people can't handle it, some people can't. I can't. Like I said, voice deeper than mine. I can't do it.
Okay.
And it's nothing against her. That she's beautiful. She
Yeah.
looked good. But it was just the voice. That's the only thing that I was just like, hold on, what?
Okay. But what is it? It's just a little bit deeper, but she still sounds like well, to me, I don't know what.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I saw some of the comments that you probably talking about, and I was like, nah, don't do that. We're not gonna play that. Like, this is definitely a woman.
Yes.
Like, that was never a thought in my mind. Like, this is a man. No, it was never a thought in my mind. Like, I knew that was a woman, but I was just like, your voice is deeper than mine.
Okay.
Sexy. Your voice is sexy.
Okay.
Sexy. Your voice is sexy.
It's like Arlette said, it's deep, but I sound feminine.
Yeah,
like,
you still sound
know
like a
what I
woman,
mean?
definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
But
like
is it
it's
like
like
a
strong.
cultural
It's real
thing?
strong.
Come again?
It's real strong.
Do you smoke? When you came on the show, I felt like it was an extremely deep voice. But
Extremely is crazy.
I talked to you today.
Extremely is crazy.
Well, it was deep.
Okay.
It's not something I think you need to pop of a balloon over. But
I mean, you can't even say that though, because it's the first reaction that you get. Somebody walking out, I was like, okay, she look decent, and then she talk, and they're like, oh no, hell no. Like, that's just the first reaction. Like,
Now you're probably thinking, well, it's her voice. She can't help it. That's actually not true. Your voice is not really a genetic thing. It's an environmental thing. Like, you can train your voice. You know that, right? Like, you can take singing classes to become a better singer. You can train your voice into making it sound more feminine. That is something that, LGBT people do. A lot of them have like trained their voice to where naturally they have this higher pitched voice. So that is something that can be worked on. She can work on that. You can lighten up your voice. You can train your body to do a lot of things, believe it or not. Don't ask me how I know. This is like a weird topic, but if you didn't know, you can train your voice into sounding more feminine. I can just feel a woman or a simp getting ready to head to that comment section and do what the title of my video says, which is do charity work and do the pity privilege thing, when we know dang well that voice is deep. You know what you're thinking? Well, she should just accept her voice and everyone should accept it. Why should she have to train her voice? And y'all be saying that as you're literally wearing a waist trainer right now. You probably have a waist trainer on right now to train that waist. You literally probably have a lace front wig on. Because I know the types of women that think like that, okay? Hypocritical. So you probably have a full face of makeup on and literally transformed your face. So when you take that makeup off, you're unrecognizable. So don't sit up here and just act like you're better just training your voice. Oh my goodness, I could never do that, and especially for a man. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be walking around sounding like no man. I'm going to take care of that. Listen, Once my voice gets that deep, you won't have to worry about me. A man won't have to even tell me that it's too deep, because I'm not going to be walking around giving manly vibes. Just saying. So yeah, as you're wearing that waist trainer to train that stomach, let's not act like you're too good to try to train your voice, okay? A lot of you guys need voice training. So yeah, I want you to peep the charity work being done here in this clip, and I'll play it again for you guys. The truth was hurting a little bit too much. Everybody was feeling bad. They were rushing to her rescue. Even the host, Arlette, was, oh no, but your voice is feminine. And it was even a dude. He even, took back what he said. At first he said her voice was extremely deep, which is true. And then he goes, oh yeah, but it's feminine. Because, the whole room was just like feeling bad for her. And it's pity. That's called pity privilege. It's like charity work, donation compliments. It's not real. So yeah, I'm gonna play the clip. Take a look.
Like I said, waist deeper than mine. I can't do it.
Okay.
And it's nothing against her. That she's beautiful. She looked good. But it was just the voice. That's the only thing that I was just like, hold on, what?
Okay. But what is it? It's just a little bit deeper, but she still sounds like to me, I don't know what.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Yeah, you still sound like a woman, definitely.
I feel like when you came on the show, I felt like it was an extremely deep voice. When I talked to you today, just like Dr. Des, I feel like it's not as deep in person. And I feel like I agree with Arlette, it is a feminine voice.
So yeah, that is the first example of pity privilege and the problem that it brings, okay? The next example of pity privilege, we have all seen this. There was like this one funny meme on TikTok where a guy was like, y'all be saying men lie. Have you ever seen the comment section of a morbidly obese woman? And yeah, the comment section will be a bunch of women telling her, slay, body is tea. Oh my gosh, stunning. I know I'm going to hell, you guys. When you look at a morbidly obese woman's comment section, you would have thought it was Beyonce posting. You would have thought it was Beyonce posting. No, it's a morbidly obese woman. They receive the most pity privilege out of all of the categories that I'm going to be talking about, okay? Morbidly obese women receive so much pity privilege from other women. You would have thought it was Megan Fox that had just posted a photo, with the way other women will flock to keep that woman stagnant and tell her that she's still beautiful at that size. When it's like, be so freaking for reals, okay? And so, like I said, women like this, when this happens too much, their brain becomes diluted and they tend to not understand. This is what makes women dislike men, actually. It's because other women have hyped them up, but it's like when they go into the dating world or even the real world, they're not receiving the same adoration. So it's like it causes a frustration with men. It's like, why don't you like me? I'm beautiful. Well, because babe, the compliments that you received in your comment section were not real. They only gave you those compliments because they felt bad for you. It was at one point where nobody was delusional. Like, the bigger women kind of knew you're not really what men would want, so they were more humble. But now that Instagram is out and like everybody is becoming delusional, with their desirability, now you have the big women where it's like they don't understand that they're big and that big people do get treated differently, and they want the same thing that the supermodel gets, and that's just not how the world works. So I noticed that a lot of them, they have frustrations, like on TikTok at least, like this girl right here. That's what I'm noticing with her, a lot of delusion. And she does a lot of videos just talking about how she's big and this is her standards and a man need to take it or leave it. So yeah, that's why we see those attitudes, because nowadays with Instagram and the overhyping, the pity privilege, some big people don't understand that they're big and their desirability is very low. So bigger women, I'm here to tell you, a lot of the times your comment section, it's charity work, babe. Okay, it's charity work. In the second half of this video, I'm going to talk about signs that you are actually attractive, okay? You don't receive charity work. In fact, it's actually the opposite. You'll receive more put downs, bullying and stuff like that when you're actually attractive. From other women, at least. So yeah, I noticed that the people who receive pity privilege, when they go into their dating life, they're always arguing with men, frustrated with men.
Who the hell told a 2, which I'm not a 2, I'm a 10, that she could act this way?
Their game up. Listen to this comment. No cap. I miss the days before social media. You could run through 2s like this. Now they all think they too good because some other 2 is gassing them up. No, sir. I'm a 10 out of 10, and there was nobody else that gassed me up. I just know my worth. Okay, I have standards, and the likes of you wouldn't even grace my dinner table. Okay, what do you bring to the table? Babes, you ain't bringing nothing I want. Okay, so we just gonna keep it classy and say I'm out of your league, period. 7-figure men do go for me.
Okay, so another form of pity privilege is when they overhype the very like average, typical, or sometimes even unattractive woman. It's when other women overhype her. So I'll give a few examples. So Holly Bailey, because I don't think that she's ugly, but at the same time, I noticed because she has unconventionally kind of like strange looking features on her face, like her eyes are super wide apart. She's not the go-to person that most people would lust after, like a Ruby Rose. Let's be so freaking for real, okay? Let's be for real. We're being for real in this conversation. Don't get into my comment section and do the pity privilege thing that I'm calling out, because y'all do that a lot. When I had said this in my unpopular opinion video, you had a lot of women going to the comment section trying to do the pity privilege thing. With pity privilege, it's when you get overhyped for what you actually are. They usually always do this to more less fortunate, unique looking people, to say the least. Okay, so that's why I am going to use her as an example. Let other women tell it. Beyonce walked in a room when Holly Bailey walks in a room. The way other women be gassing this girl up is fake way, not real. Okay? They use words I have never seen before to describe this woman's beauty. Y'all do be doing too much. And y'all do that because you feel bad for her. That's why. You feel bad because her features are strange. So yeah, pity privilege is when you receive too many compliments because people actually feel bad for you. From what I notice, just from observing, women tend to gas up the other women that don't have the male gaze. So from what I've seen online, Holly Bailey does not have the male gaze, okay? Men actually were brutally honest when they were talking about her. They were just straight up saying she's not attractive, okay? And I was on certain threads where women typically always talk crap about the drop dead gorgeous girl. Yeah, I was on Lipstick Alley doing some case studies of my own, and I noticed every time a woman is obviously gorgeous, she has men's eye. They're always talking about she's mid or average, but let it be a Holly Bailey that walks in the room, it's like, whoa, oh my god, this beauty is just breathtaking. It's nothing I've ever seen before. You know, they're always telling some drop dead gorgeous girl, oh, she's mid. She's not even all that. But when it came to Holly Bailey, I couldn't find a single bad comment. The way they was describing her was like she was the most beautiful girl on earth. So we know what's going on here, okay? Women will hype you up until they notice that you're catching the attention of men. You're not threatening unless you're catching the attention of men. And she doesn't have the male gaze. That's why they're always gassing her up. But let it be, you know, I'm going to give examples in the end of the video. Let it be an Ice Spice. Then all of a sudden, like they were straight up calling Ice Spice ugly. They were straight up calling these girls that have all the male gaze just straight up ugly. They were really on that website. This is when my case study was closed. They were on the website calling Holly Berry mid and boring looking. But why though? Why? Just take a guess why they're doing that. Because every man likes Holly Berry. Who doesn't like, what man doesn't like Holly Berry? She's one of them. When you think of the male gaze, she has it. That's why they're sitting over there trying to cope, talking about Holly Berry, you know, the actress or whatever. She's like 60 now, but they're saying that she's mid and boring and just plain. The cope be too real. okay? So you're safe to other women if you don't get male attention. They'll gas you up because they want to keep you right there. Okay? You're not threatening. But as soon as you're catching the attention of men, now they're trying to tear you down. We'll get into that soon. We'll get into that in the second half of the video. I'm going to give examples of that. Back to this girl here on the screen that I was originally talking about, Holly Bailey, not Holly Berry, Holly Bailey. Bailey. Okay? The one on the screen right here. I'm gonna give you an example about how all of the compliments that women were giving her, it was pity privilege and it was fake, okay? If you don't believe me, I'm gonna convince you with this one. So, you know how women are always going on about how she's the most beautiful person on earth and nothing can compare. Notice how once she got a boyfriend, DDG, okay, once she got some male attention, notice how all of the women were like, I don't think DDG is attracted to you. Yeah, I don't think he would be attracted to you. But what are you talking about? I thought she was the most beautiful person on earth. Oh, okay, so now your real feelings about how you really feel about her, it's low-key coming to the surface. Because if she's the most beautiful, most breathtaking person on earth, then why wouldn't DDG be attracted to her? Huh? Yeah, they were all coming out. All of the same girls that was talking about she's the most beautiful person ever were also the same girls warning her that, hey, I don't think your boyfriend is attracted to you. I don't think he finds you attractive. No, you didn't think deep down inside truly that you found her attractive. But see, they get online and then they don't keep it real. They do the pity privilege thing. You see what I mean? They only do that, the over gassing for women that they don't find attractive. But also peep this. Notice how the breaking down, they started tearing her down once she got a little bit, of male attention, because she had a boyfriend or whatever. So peep both of those right there. The projection, the true feelings coming to the surface. I don't think he's attracted to you. Why wouldn't he be attracted to her when, according to you guys online, even when I said, yeah, she's odd looking, y'all jumped in the comment section. She's the most beautiful person I've ever seen. Okay, so then why wouldn't DDG be attracted to her? So I'm tired of women not keeping it real, okay? Men tend to just be a little bit more blunt, and they were straight up saying she's not attractive. Okay then, and you thought that too. But, see, when you're not threatening, when you're not getting the male gaze, they like to keep you right there, okay? Another subcategory to this, I would call it popularity privilege. So it's when, like, I went to school with a lot of chicks like this. Like, the body is T, the outfits be T, personality is even T, but that face is looking similar to a man's face. But because everything else is T, like, usually with their personality, it's their aura, it's everything else, people will still overhype them and then like say, oh, she's the prettiest girl in the school, when it's like, whoa. No, she's the most popular girl in the school. She's not the prettiest. So yeah, that to me is called popularity privilege. And this is why I wanted to do this video, because this has been on my mind my entire life. I noticed too with popularity privilege, sometimes you'll even have guys lusting after you. Like, it was mainly men that were putting these girls on the pedestal. And I'm like, her face is like, some of these girls' face was just butt ugly. But even popularity privilege could even make you get male attention sometimes. I noticed that. Let's talk about the opposite end of the spectrum. Now that I've gave you examples of pity privilege, let's talk about how you know that you are authentically beautiful. So here's the signs, and don't think in extremes. Just remember, pity privilege is when women will overhype you, and usually it's to keep you stuck. And they like the fact that you're no competition, you're not a threat, you're safe. You're the safe friend that they can bring around, and nobody will be checking for you. But we're gonna now with the rest of the video, we're gonna talk about the opposite end of the spectrum, which is authentic beauty. So these are the women that are people view them as genuinely beautiful, and these women are a threat. They'll get a lot of compliments from women, but they'll also get women trying to tear them down. So we're going to talk about the tactics that women will do to ruin the competition with girls who are high on the beauty hierarchy. Okay, we're gonna talk about the little tactics. And this is the sign that you know that you are high on the beauty hierarchy if women are trying to sabotage you in this way. And it's not gonna be a large plethora, but it's gonna be, here and there. You'll notice some weird things. So yeah, when you're unattractive, they big you up. When you're attractive, you'll notice women trying to tear you down, trying to sabotage you. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the opposite of petty privilege, okay? What I'm about to tell you is very much real. I already got the science backed up on this. I'm going to play some clips from psychologists, doctors. Oh yeah, what I'm saying, it's no longer some theory. This has actually been studied in women. And you need to listen up if you are going on a glow up journey and you're on my channel and you're losing weight and you're taking my advice. You need to listen to this video because it's not all sunshine and rainbows when you're on the top. No, when you're on the top, it's lonely and people are constantly trying to bring you down along with them, like the crabs in the barrel bucket mentality. But before we get into it, I just want to read this TikTok really quick. The lady said, "I knew I healed when I stopped seeing pretty girls as competition and started seeing them as just pretty girls." And the comment section was a gold mine I have never seen before. All of these women just admitting that they are jealous of the beautiful woman. They see them as competition. They don't repost their stuff. They do sabotaging tactics. Like, it was mind-blowing finally seeing women admit what pretty girls have always complained about. Okay? So that's just what I wanted to say. I just want to read a few comments. Somebody said, "I hope I heal like this." And then somebody said, "I'm getting there and I love it." So yeah, it's a lot of women. Somebody said, "Genuinely, how do you get out of this mindset? It's for real so exhausting to live with. Constantly comparing myself to the next girl." So I like this because now you're seeing, like, psychologists have said it, doctors have said it, and you're actually seeing real people admit, like, when y'all be gaslighting pretty women, "Oh, stop complaining, you're pretty." No, everything has its cons. So okay, whatever, I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. So yeah, when you're unattractive, they big you up. When you're attractive, you'll notice women trying to tear you down, trying to sabotage you. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the opposite of petty privilege. So one thing I noticed, and this usually always happens on TikTok. Maybe I'm just on TikTok more. I do spend a lot of time on there. But okay, I talked about this before. This is something that I have always noticed. Don't let you have blonde hair and blue eyes on that app. Your comment section will be flooded with women lying out their teeth, talking about, "You should dye your hair jet black. You would look better with jet black hair. Oh, is your hair long? You should cut your hair short. Yeah, how about you cut your hair short? You would eat with a short haircut, babe." Yes, I've seen the amount of, like, beautiful girls with long blonde hair down to their butt. And the comment section be like, "You should chop all your hair off." That's a hater. I'm telling you right now, if you are a woman with long hair, never, ever, I don't care. Even if women don't realize that they're hating, there's like a hater undertone to what you're saying. When you tell other women with long hair, "You should chop it all off," that's a sign that you have a desirable trait, okay? Don't ever fall for the, "Hey guys, let's chop our hair off." Never fall for that. Me and my friend were talking about our regrets with the, if you're black, the big chop thing. We definitely fell for that. So yes, I fell for that back in the day. I chopped all my hair off and I regret it till this day. Okay, most women that chop all their hair off, you're probably going to regret it. To me, that whole, "Hey guys, let's cut our hair off," it's a misery likes company thing. That's what it is. Because let's be real. Okay, I told you guys we're being real in this video. We're not gonna be fake. Men are attracted to long, luscious hair. They like feminine traits, okay? That's a feminine trait. Having long, luscious hair is a feminine trait. And that is exactly why women will look at you with that long, luscious hair and tell you, "You should cut all your hair off."
If another woman has encouraged you to cut your hair short, well, it may just be because she's jealous of you. At least that's what's suggested by 2 new studies from Danielle Sulukowski and colleagues. Welcome to the Sciences of Beauty, Episode 4, And today we're talking about hair. Long, robust hair is a sign of youth and health. So for most women, cutting their hair short will, in theory, reduce their attractiveness. Given this, as a woman, one way for a rival to sabotage you would be to encourage you to cut your hair short. So the Likowski et al. Investigated this possibility experimentally by asking women to advise other women on how much hair they should cut off. Supporting their hypothesis, their study found that when another woman's hair was healthy and she wanted to keep her hair long, more competitive women recommended she cut off more of her hair. She also found that women recommended shorter haircuts to women of similar levels of attractiveness to themselves, suggesting that jealousy might even be induced by perceiving someone as an even competitor. Of course, this isn't to suggest that all women do this, or that all women look worse with short hair in general, or even that any of this is conscious. Just that subconsciously our brains evolve to identify our competitors and give them quote-unquote advice that helps us more than it helps them.
And that is exactly why women will look at you with that long, luscious hair and tell you, you should cut all your hair off. And I'm not gonna lie, since we're talking about white women, right? The blondes, they do be eating. See, I'm not a hater. I don't do pity privilege. I love a white woman with some blonde hair, okay? And that is exactly, and men like that too. Men in their community love it. They eat it up every time. And don't let her have blue eyes, okay? That combination is a fire combination in the white community. And other women know this, so out of jealousy, they'll tell her, you should put black contacts on and dye your hair pitch black. I've been peeping that. I'm like, why is nobody noticing?
Oh, you're blonde? I think you should dye your hair pitch black. Yeah, black is pitch, dark is night. It's really gonna bring out your eyes.
Or like a woman, now I'm in white people's business, right? A white woman will come out and she'll be like, which hair color looks better? And it's like, the blonde obviously looks better. It obviously does. I love blonde hair on white girls, okay? I love it. And then everybody in the comment section will be like, you should dye your hair brown. And cut it off. Cut it short to your ear. Like you're hating. You just don't want her to receive the adoration that comes with that, phenotype or whatever. So yeah, that is the first example of how you know that you fit the desirability. Okay? And don't get me wrong, pretty women receive a lot of adoration. Obviously, they receive a lot of compliments, but there is going to be some like hatred and jealousy sprinkled in from other women. And it's like slick ways, because women are not really overt. And even psychologists have noticed this. Like women, when it comes to bullying, they're not overt. They do it in slick ways like that.
You can feel it happen, but it's so hard to blame them. Are you crazy? Is this really happening? Some studies show that the victims of female bullying aren't even aware that they are victims. They're made to feel stupid. They're made to feel at fault because there's no direct form of aggression. Sometimes it can be a lot of like very communication-based stuff like eye rolling, crossing your arms. We also have studies that show that these are very communication-based attacks. So since they don't engage in a directly disruptive behavior, there's not something that they can be found guilty of. I wasn't hitting on your boyfriend. I was just walking past them in a bikini. If your boyfriend wants to look, that's his problem. What's the matter? Do you feel not confident in it? Do you feel like you're not attractive enough to keep your boyfriend? This is how they do.
And the hate-worthy woman is almost always positioned in contrast to a beloved man. And I wondered, could it be that women are more likely to despise another woman when they see her as competition for a desired man? After all, every single one of the women that I mentioned was associated with a very beloved, conventionally attractive man, and they themselves are extremely beautiful women. Is it possible that these PR campaigns work so well on women because they tap into a deep-seated, primal instinct to tear down one's sexual competition? Yes, the answer is yes. According to Vaillancourt, women use indirect aggression as an intrasexual competition strategy when faced with an attractive rival. Indirect or relational aggression is when somebody is criticizing another person's appearance, spreading rumors about them, socially excluding them, getting other people to dislike them, divulging secrets about them, using derisive body language to make the other person feel self-conscious. So yeah, all the women commenting hateful things about female celebrities they've never met are participating in indirect aggression. This is in contrast with direct aggression, which is when you're directly confronting a person for something they've done to upset you, either through words or sometimes sometimes even physical violence. Men tend to commit the majority of direct aggression, whereas women have a slightly higher rate of indirect aggression. Indirect aggression is so effective because it allows people to maximize the amount of harm caused to the other person while keeping the personal danger to themselves at a minimum, because they can usually keep anonymous in these forms of aggression. They don't have to worry about actual physical harm coming to them that the other person is going to fight them, for instance. And what do you know? Women typically commit indirect aggression against other women, particularly when they have mating motives, and particularly when those other women are attractive and single. Attractiveness increased the odds of being indirectly aggressed by 35% for adolescent girls, while decreasing the odds by 25% for boys. So when girls are more attractive, they're more likely to be a victim of indirect aggression, whereas when boys are more attractive, they're less likely to be a victim. Attractiveness goes a longer way for men. For example, we know from studies that women routinely discriminate against female candidates in the work hiring process, especially more attractive candidates. Attractive women's apologies are less accepted by other women, and the author puts it quite simply. Being physically attractive places females at risk of being indirectly victimized by other females. Why is this? Why do women commit so much indirect aggression against attractive rivals? It appears that women have a proclivity for using indirect aggression in the context of something called intrasexual competition, when they're competing for mates. When you're trying to attract a mate, you can take part in one of two mating strategies. The first is called self-promotion, which is when you're basically making yourself seem like a more attractive candidate, such as putting work into how you look. The second strategy is the derogation of rivals, meaning making your competitors seem less attractive. So indirect aggression, spreading hate about a woman who makes you feel sexually threatened, is a great way to derogate your rivals. Typically, women tend to say terrible things about a woman that they think men most care about. For instance, they'll often target that woman's looks and her sexual promiscuity, because they think that's what's going to dissuade men from sleeping with her. Now you might be thinking, but hold on, the women participating in these hate trains, they don't actually have access to these male celebrities. These are not these female celebrities' rivals. And that's exactly the issue with parasocial relationships. The public builds imaginary relationships with these celebrities. We hate certain people and we love certain people who literally don't know that we exist. Those male celebrities, they're not our potential mates, and those female celebrities, they're not our rivals. Our minds can't distinguish between a real relationship and an imaginary one, so we begin to see things that way. We see these male celebrities as potential mates, and we see these female celebrities as our sexual rivals.
Okay, when it comes to weeding out competition, it's slick things like that. Like, oh, cut off all your hair. They're always covert with their bullying and stuff like that. If you're receiving like little slick, or if you feel in your heart like, is this person jealous of me? You know, is this bad advice? Are they trying to sabotage me? Whenever you get women trying to do that, that's how you know you are authentically on the top of the beauty hierarchy. Another sign that you're on top and, you know, your interactions with people are genuine when they compliment you is, okay, we're going to talk about the body, okay? So I'll use slim girls as an example. Are you even really attractive if you don't receive a little bit of shade, bullying, negative comments? Like the way I get on Instagram and Tyla is being posted on the shade room, right? Tyla, who has the best body, when it comes to the slim girls, she has the best body, one of the best bodies currently in Hollywood. You know you're the standard. You know your body is T. But you have other women trying to really convince you that it's not. Okay? So women will say, like, I remember Tyla was twerking one time in front of like a woman who was thicker. Actually, she looked obese. And people were like, can Tyla move out the way so we can see the real view here? Or they'll say she's shaped like a little Indian boy. I even found this thread of them just breaking Tyla down, talking about she has no chest, she has no curves. And, you know, this is usually, the ones who do this are usually overweight themselves, okay? They're trying to convince her she's too thin. Look, someone said she looks boring, her body is lacking. They do this so that Tyla can read it and question herself and then start making some changes in a bad way, okay? It's sabotage. When you are authentically beautiful, you'll notice people here and there will try to tear you down and bring you to their level. So like I said, I already know who's typing this. It's overweight women making these comments, and they want Tyla to be in the bottom with them. It's to weed out competition. I already showed you the video with the doctor. I've seen so many videos of doctors saying, yes, women are catty and they do covert stuff like this. They're not overt. They're not going to tell you, hey, You're the standard, you're intimidating, I'm jealous when I look at you, and I don't want my man crushing on you. So you need to put on weight and look like me so that way there's no competition. No, they're not going to say that. They're just going to, bully you like, what's on the screen right here, saying she has no curves, no chest, she looks boring. And when we know that's not the truth, everybody does not have to be juicy in order to be beautiful. So you don't even believe what you're saying. It's total, complete jealousy. A lot of times when you're on a beauty hierarchy, people will use strategies to get you to not be there. So what it is they're pressuring Tyla to gain weight. That's what they're doing. They want Tyla to see, they know Tyla's body is on the top of the hierarchy, and they want her to feel insecure and put on weight like the rest of them. It's a misery likes company thing, okay? You ever notice like when you're slim or when you're losing weight, now all of a sudden everybody is concerned. And people know that being big is unhealthy, but they're never concerned when you're like 200 pounds. Yeah, so they want her to put on weight so that way she can stop being desirable in the eyes of Hollywood, society, and men. Okay? That's why everybody comments on Tyla's body. They're always saying she's too slim, she's too this, she's too that. She receives a lot of hate. That's how you know you're on top. And of course you're going to receive compliments mixed in with that, but you're going to get a lot of that. And then the next hierarchy that gets hated on a lot is when a woman has a pretty feminine voice. They used to make fun of Kim Kardashian all of the time, a lot of Valley girls. I mean, I get it because it is kind of annoying, but let's be real here. Like, the Valley girl voice is the epitome of femininity. And like when you sound like a girly girl, once again, you'll get other women like hating on you. I notice a lot of comments like, oh, I don't like her voice, and her voice is this, and oh, you sound like a little girl. But let a woman come in the room sounding like a man, it's, oh my goodness, my drawers are on the floor. Her voice is so sexy. Oh my goodness. Like, come on, be so freaking for real. So once again, it's those strategies of putting doubt into you so that way you can, like deepen up your voice and sound like the rest of them. If you exhibit and exude more feminine traits, you will notice more women trying to convince you to do the opposite. But some women want you walking around looking and sounding like a man, okay? And that's the only way that they'll be comfortable with your existence. Because more feminine traits, that feminine voice when you walk in the room, it catches more of men's eye. So that's what it's really about, okay? I said we're going to be real in this conversation. Most of the cattiness that you see with women, it usually goes back to a man. A man is always the source behind the cattiness between women. So that's one thing that you need to understand. I feel like if men did not exist, I don't think there would be as much cattiness. So you'll notice that they tend to bring down more feminine traits, just in general, your voice, anything. They'll try to like take it out of you. And remember what I said, women are covert. So in this case, I noticed, because I see this too, they always compliment deeper voices. You notice that? I noticed that, like Bella Hadid and stuff like that. They will, I love your voice, but it's crickets when a woman sounds feminine. So that's something that I noticed. Okay, another thing that I noticed. Now this is a little bit off topic, but it's just another example that I noticed. We're going to talk about another hierarchy that many women admire and strive for, whether they admit it or, whether they're in denial or not. And that is marriage. Okay, marriage is a lot of women's goals when they're younger. And so I'm going to talk about the sabotaging that you'll tend to see when it comes to dating, relationships, and men. Okay, just real quick. Make no mistake, this is a topic too that provokes a lot of jealousy out of women. So if you're engaged or you've been with your partner for many years, one man, all of those things, it brings out jealousy in other women. So let's talk about it. When a woman has a man that's centering her and she likes her man and he treats her good, so therefore she reciprocates the energy, And, she may be all about that man, okay, and putting him first and prioritizing him, right? Other women who don't receive that, okay, peep the game here. They'll convince that woman to stop prioritizing her man because it's male-centered. And it's a strategy to get her to lose her man. Okay, a lot of women do strategies and they give bad advice, and I'm gonna use the word that you guys don't like. A lot of women will give you bad advice, so that way you don't keep your man because they can't ever keep theirs. Because many women can't do that. You let toxic advice get into your head. You're letting other women tell you to put your man on the very last of everything, and so that way you can be in the position that they're in. It's a misery likes company thing. So like I said, whenever you know you have something good going on for yourself, like you got a good man and you prioritize him, and you have other women putting doubt in your head, like, ooh, you're a pick-me, you're too male-centered. Yeah, that's another form of what I'm talking about here. One of the signs of being beautiful, and truly desirable is when you'll see shady comments from other women, backhanded comments from other women, bad advice from other women, like put your man last when you have a good man. You got a good man, he's doing a lot for you, and they'll tell you, oh, put him last. Oh, you cooking for him to make him happy? Stop cooking for him. You're a slave. Why are you making your man a sandwich? Are you a slave? He has hands. Like, you'll hear stuff like that. That, by the way, if you ever hear that, that's bad advice. If you would like some good advice, check out my video after this, where I basically, read comments of the happily married women just giving their advice. I think everyone needs to see that video, because then you'll see it's just a clear night and day difference from how happy people who are in happy relationships operate versus miserable single people that want you to be single too. And I'm not saying these people give bad advice on purpose. No, I think that most of the things that I'm saying in this video, sometimes it's not even purposely done. It's like a subconscious thing. They might not even realize what they're doing. Let's just think about it for a moment. If you don't have a relationship of your own, they might not even realize that some of their advice is salty. Some people don't even realize that they might be jealous of you and your situation and the man that you have, and that they're just naturally telling you, bad advice. And, that's what the doctors and stuff were saying. Like, a lot of these behaviors, sometimes it's subconscious, the bad advice and stuff like that. I don't think that most people go around, just strategizing. Like, no, they might not even realize, like, wait a minute, I am low-key jealous of this person, and I am just naturally going to give them bad advice. You know what I mean? So another example I want to give of actually being authentically desirable, okay, and beautiful, and how it's real. Let's talk about Mariah the scientist. So apparently, Mariah the scientist is slim. She's such a cute girl. It's just refreshing. Her aesthetic kind of reminds me of the women back in the day. Like, even the way she does her hair, it's like so demure. I love the tasteful length, and I think she wears her natural hair. Like, she's naturally tea. And see, that's something also, if you are naturally tea, like you're tea without all the extra stuff and the makeup and stuff like that, oh, honey, you're going, just like how I said, big women experience pity privilege the most. If you are naturally beautiful, you will receive the most hatred from other women. And so that's why I'm bringing up Mariah the scientist, because she strikes me as someone who is just naturally gorgeous. Okay, she's cute. Her body is cute. She is what a lot of men say that they like. The natural hair, the, tasteful, in-shape body. She's like the country girl, the Southern belle. Like, so, she probably has those values too, where, she know how to keep her man. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna get too much into her relationships, because I do know she's one of those girls that has good traits, but she picks bad men. So I'm not gonna get into that, okay? But you know what I'm saying. And somebody had pointed out that because Mariah the scientist, there's not really anything you can talk about with her. One time she posted a picture with her feet in it and women were tearing her apart. So it's like, how you know you're on the beauty hierarchy is when women nitpick your flaws, because everybody's gonna have flaws. But when you're big, they're not gonna point out those flaws. They're gonna hype you up because they want to keep you there and stagnant. But see, when you're beautiful, they will find anything to talk about. Like Mariah the Scientist, they have to talk about her feet. You know what I mean? If you have other women like pointing out frivolous flaws about you, that is actually a sign that you are like close to a 10 out of 10. You're close to perfection when they're doing that, because that's literally why they're doing that. They feel like, wait a minute, you are like way too flawless and I can't have this. I can't have you around my man being flawless like this. So I need to point out how do you see that second toe? Ew, that looks disgusting. Ew, it's bigger than the first toe. So she's not as perfect. So I'm letting you know right now, if you have women just straight up being overt with it and pointing out your flaws, you're that girl and you're like a 10 out of 10.
Too many women giving you a compliment is a red flag, especially when you're outside of the conventionally attractive box. When you don't meet society standards of beauty and you got too many women complimenting you, it's not real. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's not real. They're only complimenting you because they feel like they're doing charity work and they feel bad for you and they feel like they're a good person by telling you that you look good, even though they don't truly feel that way. I was on Instagram and they posted a picture of Mariah the Scientist's foot with Young Thug holding it. And the girls could not wait for an opportunity to try to find a flaw in Mariah the Scientist. You know why? Because she's such a beautiful girl. You've yet to see anything that you can really pick her apart on. And so they was trying to go in on her second toe being bigger than the first toe. Because that's all they had. That's all they had on her, right? Because they couldn't talk about her body. They can't talk about her face. So you got to find something that you can pick apart because you're jealous of her, right? But in the same sense, they'll go to a woman who's not conventionally attractive and they will get in that woman's comment section and they will boost her up, big her up, tell her how great she is, how beautiful she is, how flawless she is, you know, how much of a baddie she is. But again, when it's a really actually attractive girl, they want to find ways to discredit her being attractive, right? Same thing if they go on a girl's page and her body too nice. Oh, it's automatically a BBL. It can't just be she works out. It can't just be genetically she was gifted by God. Like she was just blessed with a nice body. It can't be that. You see a girl with a really pretty face. Oh, it's got to be a filter. It's got to be the makeup. You see a girl with long hair. It's got to be weave. It's got to be a wig. They want to find a way to discredit anybody who's actually attractive. They only really want to give compliments when you're not competition, right? And so, like I said, if you're outside of that conventionally attractive, you may be a little overweight and you getting too many compliments from women, it ain't real, sweetheart. It ain't real, and you should be worried because they're trying to keep you comfortable, right? They're trying to keep you right where you feel safe. They don't want you to end up looking any better than you look right now. They want to keep you right there. They like you where you're at. Because let's say you do end up looking better. Let's say you do lose weight or do something that makes you end up looking better and you become competition. They'll end up doing you just like they did Mariah the Scientist. And they'll look for any flaw they can possibly find about you to try to talk about you because now you're competition.
Or even with Ice Spice. I see this too with Ice Spice. She is a cute girl. She has the male gaze. Her body is nice. She's thick, but she got a nice body. She always has men in her comment section like lusting after her. And it's women that will be saying, Ice Spice is mid. She's not even all that. She's not even that cute. Her body is not all that. Like, they hate on her. They literally hate on Ice Spice. Give the girl her flowers. She is a pretty girl. Her body is nice. If you were a man, you would want to date her too. Like, let's be so freaking for real. I'm no better than a man. I'm looking at her too. You know what I mean? And it's like, heaven forbid, a woman just acknowledges that. No, they're always tearing down Ice Spice. They're always doing videos talking about her looks are not all that. She's just light-skinned. It's not that she's light-skinned. When you look at her face in interviews, she's beautiful. How many people can be that beautiful in interviews? When you take a picture, when someone's recording you, are you that beautiful? I know for me, sometimes when I'm getting recorded, I don't look the most flattering, but it's like Ice Spice is flattering in all recordings of her. Oh, another thing that they do with Ice Spice is they'll point out, see how they try to nitpick? So this woman is beautiful with a very gorgeous body, right? And they'll be like, oh, she looks slow. She looks like she has Down syndrome. Like, so mean. And it's like, I always said, you have to be staring at Ice Spice so hard and purposely trying to find a flaw, to sit up there and be like, she looks slow, she looks autistic, she looks like she has Down syndrome. Do you know how much of a hater you have to be to come up with that explanation? So that's what I'm saying. You see this with Mariah the scientist too, where it's like, Mariah is beautiful, and so they had to literally search so hard. They had to go out of their way to find a flaw. Oh, it's her feet. Ew, look at her feet. Toe was longer than the first toe. Are you serious right now? Are you serious? But see, that's a sign that you're genuinely T. If you know that your face is attractive, if you know that you are in shape, like if you know you have it going on and people are trying to put fear into you, that's a sign that, you know, you genuinely are popping. You genuinely are that girl. Now, we're going to go back. We're going to just wrap the video up. A sign of pity privilege is when, let's be so for real, you know you're big and you have women all up in your ear telling you you are amazing. Your comment section looks like you look like Beyonce. That's pity privilege, babe. They're doing that out of charity. They're only saying that because they feel bad for you, because they know that society does not big you up. The society doesn't lift you up. Men ignore you. And so they feel bad for you. That's why they're telling you, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful and whoop-de-woo. Or if you know that your face is not that T, and you have a bunch of women telling you, you are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Oh my God, you're so breathtaking. Oh my God, you're so pretty. It's pity privilege. They're doing that because they feel sorry for you. You know, it's many reasons that they do that. It's also to weed out competition, to keep you stuck. If you know your voice is deep and you know you sound similar to a man, okay, if you shock yourself with your voice and you play your voice back and you're like, that's me, that's how I sound like, oh, I thought that was a man.
What's your name?
My name is Uche.
Uche, how old are you?
And you have other women telling you your voice is sexy, babe, that's pity privilege. They're doing that because they know that voice will make men run. Like how on Pop the Balloon, every man, when they heard her speak, they popped their balloon instantly. Okay? They want to keep you there. Okay? So that way they can be friends with you. They ain't got to worry about you coming around their man because you turn men off. That's pity privilege, babe. That's pity privilege. So recognize it. You know, especially if you're on my channel and you're trying to level up. Oh, honey, it's a university to being that girl. Oh, you need to know the tactics. You need to know, like, you got to be strong, okay? Because it will be people trying to break you down. Or even if you are unattractive and you're on my channel, it'll be people trying to keep you there, okay? So you need to know the games and the psychology and just the cattiness with women. So yeah, so to wrap the video up, pity privilege means that you big up undesirable women with undesirable traits, while also getting away with bullying desirable women. Because it's like, oh, whatever, society already gives her enough adoration. Who even cares about my little comments? You're like, she'll be all right. And she probably will. If she's like smart and listening to this video, she'll be all right. But no amount of compliments that you're giving to that big girl will make her genuinely confident. So yeah, thoughts below. Did I eat? Did I clock it? Did I speak your reality? Did I hurt your feelings? I mean, I'll probably know that feelings are hurt when I get like angry paragraphs and stuff like that. Or they'll be like, well, what do you look like? Girl, I'm T. So yeah, bye. So by now, most of the low IQ people, you know, they don't make it this far into the video because they never fully hear what people have to say. They just stop at like, the 5-minute mark and then leave negative comments. So I'm already going to predict what they're going to say. Okay, I'm just going to predict it for the credits. So this is the end of the video. I'm going to predict what people are going to say because I was very brutally honest and blunt in this video. And I know when I turn up the bluntness, ooh, people do not like that. The hit dogs be hollering. So what they do is they like to attack me and not the message. So this is what they're going to say in the comments. Okay. So I know my subscribers watch my video to the very end and I love you guys so much, but I have people that stop by and they don't do that. Okay. Like imagine going your whole life and it's like they wonder why they're always angry. You're always angry because you never fully comprehend what's going on. You stop in the middle and then leave angry comments. You know what I mean? So this is what they're going to say. Okay, I'm just going to predict it because I always get these comments and I delete it. So they're going to be like, well, you're saying all this, but you don't show yourself. So what do you look like? Okay. And then they're also going to say, well, all you do is tear down women. All you do, you're tearing down another black woman. That's all you do is you're tearing down a black woman. Okay. And then they're going to say, you're so male-centered. You had me up until that part of the video. They always say that. Oh, I like the video until you started being blunt when it comes to relationships with men. They hate that. They always be like, oh, you had me up until. You can decenter your man and still be in a relationship. See, you don't understand decenter men. I don't think you understand it. I don't think you understand what it means. So they're gonna say that. They're also gonna just come at me and act, and then they're gonna say, you're so disgusting. You are miserable. Someone's gonna be in the comment section lying out of their teeth like I was not accurate when I said Holly Bailey. Ooh, not Holly Berry. Ooh, good God. Woo! Let me correct myself. No, not Holly Berry. Holly Bailey is a little bit odd looking. Okay? There's gonna be some girl in the comment section talking about, well, that's just your opinion. She is so beautiful. She's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life. Oh, my favorite one. You think you're so cool? Your name is Blunt Girly? You're not even blunt. You're just rude. You're not even blunt. You're just rude. That's my favorite one because it's like, woo, oh my goodness, you keep using your brain, man. It's not like I've heard this 50,000 times before. It's the go-to. Anytime you label yourself blunt, that's what people say. You could be the nicest person and then it just triggers them. It triggers them when you know who you are. But I always tell people it was other people that kept calling me blunt and then I adopted the name. You get it? But whatever. Random strangers don't understand my backstory behind my name. So let's see. What else are they going to say? It's just going to be a lot of girls in the comment section, because I brought a lot of stuff back to men because let's be so for real. Okay? A lot of what you're doing has a lot to do with men. And they're going to be acting cool and deflecting and like not keeping it real in the comment section and just acting like they're super unbothered by men and they could care less. And okay, sure. Sure. As far as women are alive, they will never, ever truly decenter men. No, they won't. Everything goes back to a man. That's why they're so mean towards the women that men, get all the gays from. Because that's what it's about. Okay? I'll just have came out in this video. I had doctors in this video, even research scientific studies that showed that y'all are indeed male-centered. Okay? Y'all are just in denial. Ain't nobody believing you besides your little girlhood, the sisterhood that you're trying to look cool for. So anyways, let's predict more stuff they're going to say for the credits. And so they're gonna tell me that I am miserable, and wait a minute, y'all. I need therapy. If only these people knew just how unbothered I am. Like, I truly think, like, if anyone was destined to be a YouTuber, it's me. I literally laugh at negative comments. Like, you will not run me off of YouTube and you will not break me. And like I said, normally you guys don't see this because I delete it because it's my channel. You know, talk about me on a gossip channel, you know, and promote my name there. But no, you don't, this is my channel. Goodbye, blocked. But I might leave it up just to show you guys how basic these people are. Like, if I'm disagreeing with someone, I'm going to come up with an intelligent, thorough argument that you're not going to be able to predict. But they're so predictable because these are low IQ people we're talking about. So everything that I've said, they have told, I've seen this like 50,000 times. None of these people can just form articulate thoughts that are deep for their self, or like even just try to dispute my talking points. No, they're always gonna come for me, okay? But at the end of the day, my video is still accurate. So yeah. Well, all right, guys, I think I got all the arguments out of the way, and shout out to the subscribers, because it's only my subscribers that make it to this point anyways. Because like I said, I've been noticing that the people that always comment angry stuff, they don't actually watch the video. That's why they're angry. I would be angry too if I never heard people out and I stopped them after the first few sentences and left paragraphs and left. So yeah, you can literally look this up. Low IQ people, research has found, scientists and stuff like that that have observed these people, they're usually quick to get angry. It's because they're not intelligent. So yeah, they don't make it up until this part. So yeah, I like to kind of tease in my videos. Like in the end, I'll be like, watch somebody comment this, and then they'll comment that because they don't watch the full video. So all right, guys, bye. All right. I'm gonna let you go, but I do want to put this thought in your head. If you made it to this point, you obviously love it here. You obviously love my channel, because the ones that really love me, they make it until the end of the video. So consider hitting that description box and joining my channel. It's lit over there. Okay, we get real personal, real exclusive. And yeah, it's really cheap. $3.99 if you want VIP and exclusive, you know, access to my vlogs where I show my day-to-day life. Become a VIP member of my channel for $5.99. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Bye.